Hi, my name's Evan, and I don't have pants on. Hey, stop that. We're talking about something important today. I rewatched Star Wars Raju 1, or as the laymen say, Rogue One today, after just finishing Andor Season 1 and 2. And oh my god, the, literally, Rogue One is one of my favorite Star Wars movies of all time. I don't think it's a hot take to say it's probably one of the best Star Wars movies ever because of the fact that it is, like, while Star Wars is great, I love something that always sticks out for a movie for me is when a movie can be its own enclosed story. Like, that's why, like, the first Star Wars: A New Hope is a really good movie too, because you can watch that and not watch any other Star Wars, and you got a full story, you got a full meal without needing any other outside influence. And Rogue One's one of those too. It's a story that starts, ends, and you get a whole adventure. By the way, I didn't just watch this movie for no reason. Like, yes, I just finished Andor, and it got me to want to watch the movie, but I actually have a more well constructed reason for this. Yes, I got a Lego set. It's a U-wing. Watch what this thing does. Be careful. Don't look at my legs. Okay, look. It does its thing. It's flying. Whoa. Oh my god. Wow. But the wings, they lock into position here. Look at this. This shit's awesome. I have to be quiet. Sorry. My family is asleep. But, this thing's awesome. And, but you know what? Sit here. Comes with a few Lego characters. It comes with Dedra from the hit classic show Andor. It comes with guy with riot shield from the hit classic show Andor. It comes with K2SO from the hit classic show Andor, and it comes from Andor from Rogue One. This is an outstanding little setup. I also find it really funny that, like, characters like these, you can kind of tell Dedra, like, look far away. Oh, that's definitely Dedra. Wow. So, like, far away, riot shield guy. That's definitely a guy with a riot shield. But, like, Andor, it's just a guy. It's a guy in a leather jacket. And I think while that's funny and all, that's also kind of why the show and why the media of Rogue One and Andor is so important to me. Because it is. He's one man. He's just a dude. He's a guy with a leather jacket fighting one of the biggest fascist oppressive governments in fictional media and beating their ass. He's molly-whopping their noodles, bro. It's absolutely absurd. I love Andor as a show. Even if you don't like Star Wars, if you're watching this right now, you're not a Star Wars fanatic like I am, because if you can't tell, I'm a tad of a fanatic. I think you can see the Republic gunship up there. It's just a beautiful show. It's a spy flick. It's an espionage show. It's something that if you like spies, if you like taking down oppressive governments, if you like a story about a rebellion building against a power much stronger than themselves, you would love Andor. But Rogue One is the story I want to talk about today. What really brought me to making this video is Rogue One as a movie. When I first watched it, was a great experience of, like, oh, this rebellion is up against insurmountable odds. These gigantic government with a super weapon, that's no moon, that's a big blasty boomba box or sphere, and these are just a bunch of guys, a bunch of little rats with guns going through and trying to take out this government. And the characters were interesting. Andor, of course, seemed very, like, to his guns, loyal to the rebellion. Jyn Erso had her story going. But after watching Andor, so many of the decisions in that movie that characters made that initially didn't make much sense immediately got cleared up. Saul Guerrera's character, while he already seemed like an insane old man, seemed a little more insaner. But there's reasons for that. Like, it makes sense now. Like, I understand why he's so insane. Bitch, you're huffing gasoline. Stop doing that. That's a joke that'll only make sense if you watch the show. I'm trying to avoid spoilers. That's my goal here. Cassian, this guy right here, like, he seemed so dead set on the rebellion that he even made decisions that hurt people that he cared about. And initially I was like, wow, this guy's kind of an asshole. But then you watch Andor and you realize the amount that he has sacrificed and the amount that he has been through to get to Rogue One, and you're like, okay, no, this guy knows exactly what he's doing at all times. Andor is locked in, and you know that. You recognize that. But what I think is great is watching Rogue One again with the context of Andor doesn't make it a better movie. It just makes it a completely different movie. It takes a movie that was already outstanding, and then it gives you essentially a whole new perspective on a movie that was already amazing, and it keeps it amazing. I think that's just, God, they cooked so well with Andor, and I'm so glad that there's something that I wanted to point out very specifically, that the story is over in a way, you know? Like Diego Luna, I could go with seeing him on my screen infinitely. I would make him the head runner of Star Wars, but don't do that because like Andor starts at the beginning of his story. The show, season 1 starts at the beginning and goes through season 1 into season 2, and I'm not going to spoil, but season 2, the way it ends, you might want to watch Rogue One seconds later. You might want to go watch that one a few minutes later. Um, Same way that once Rogue One ends, you might want to watch A New Hope minutes later, maybe a few seconds late. Anyway, yeah, the stories connect, but it goes from the beginning of his story all the way to the end of Rogue One, which is the end of like Andor's arc and everything that you need to know about Andor. And I'm glad because while I love Andor and I love Diego Luna, I don't want him to get the sequel movies treatment. I don't want him to get like a movie where Disney's like, we're gonna actually have him go and team up with Glupshido and his cousin Shit Gluppo, and they're gonna go on an adventure to save the moon. Bitch, the moon, that doesn't exist in Star Wars. The Earth isn't real. We're all a figment of your imagination. It's a galaxy far, far away, bitch. We ain't nowhere near here. But that was a stupid rant. That made no sense. Essentially, I'm saying that I'm glad that we got such a beautiful story all in one place. We didn't have like, and I guess this is an example that I want to use. Anakin's story. I love Anakin. I love the prequels. I love the original trilogy. The sequels, I've made my gripes about those. But then we get shows like Ahsoka. I love Ahsoka, and I love Anakin as a character. The show just isn't that great. Kenobi too. Really, it's unfortunate. The show just wasn't written that well. It wasn't executed that well either. But it's like, oh man, like we got like a little stinker in the timeline of Anakin's story. No stinkers with Andor. All we got was gold. All we got was W's. So, anyways, I highly recommend if you are not a Star Wars fan, check out Andor. You will, I promise, you will enjoy it. Just because it's just an enjoyable watch. It's enthralling characters. It isn't just like a few good main characters either. Every single character with lines in that show is a memorable instance of the show. There are background characters that get like 2 scenes and like they deserve Emmys. Emmys? Grammys? Oscars? What's the one that the actors get? They deserve one of those. Because the show is just so well made, so well written, so well executed, and every arc, every like group of episodes that feel like their own story are so well contained, but also so connected. Like it's like this journey of Andor going from this guy that doesn't really understand rebellion to meeting people along the way that teach him all the important aspects of what it's like to stand up to a government that truly is just putting a boot on your neck and to take that boot off and fight back. It's just so great. It's so awesome and topical, maybe. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. I just want to get about that. I think that this is awesome. I think this Lego set is awesomer. This thing is so cool. Actually, not awesomer. The show is really cool. I can't say that Lego set's cooler than Andor, but go watch the show if you haven't. This is not sponsored. I would not take a Disney sponsor. I might. No, I wouldn't. No, why would I say I might? I wouldn't. That's just unnecessary. Disney doesn't sponsor creators anyway. Anyway, I love Star Wars. I just love Star Wars, and I think that Andor treated it very well. I'm glad. Thank you for watching. My name is Evan. I still don't have pants on, and goodbye.